Hello again, it's Miss Jones from Sew with Miss Jones. Today I'm going to show you how to put the front and the back together with your felt friend. And you know, if you hear this kind of moaning sound in the background, the puppy upstairs I think is unhappy, and it's not my dog. My dog's sitting quietly on the couch, but the puppy upstairs is unhappy and he's been crying. So you need to get your back out of the bag where you should have been keeping it. You've got your front all done, and we're going to lay them on top of each other. Okay, and then let's take a look at the directions. So on these directions, I got to step number 7 on mine. You might have a different step number. And it says sewing the elephant together. So I need to pin the front elephant to the back elephant with wrong sides together. So the wrong sides are the sides that don't have any of this embroidery and applique on the outside. On the bottom edge of the elephant, mark off a 3-inch opening in the center with 2 pins at each point. So if you notice they put a double pin here and a double pin there, I need something to measure off my. Okay, well, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that everything is exactly on top of each other. Okay? Make sure all of the edges are even. They should be stacked right on top of each other. None of it should be peeking out. Alrighty? And I need to measure a 3-inch opening at the bottom. And I'm going to do it, looks like it's about even on each side. So it tells me to put a double pin at each of these points. I'm going to put one in and then I'll put another one in. I've got 2 there. Okay, so the double pin means that we don't sew in between there. When we sew on the sewing machine and have to leave an opening, usually we have some kind of dot. And I also will often put a double pin just to remind myself that I don't sew in between those 2. So when I am hand sewing, I am more comfortable if I put my pins in parallel to the edge when I'm hand sewing, not perpendicular. So since I am going to be sewing this way, I'm going to be sewing clockwise, I'm going to try to put my pins so that the point is away from me. And I want to not pin, just like when we pin the pattern on, we don't want to pin just in a circle because we don't want the edges to shift. And so what you're noticing is I'm putting them in a little bit from the edge. And I'm going to tell you, if you look at the diagram, this suggests that you put them in perpendicular to the edge. And the problem with that is whenever you're making your blanket stitch, it's going to be too easy for your thread to get wrapped around those. So I'm putting them a little bit far in from the edge. And remember, I'm putting them with the point in the direction I am going to sew. So the head of the pin is to my left, and the point is to my right because I'm going to be working from left to right. And honestly, I'm probably putting in way more pins than I need to. I might even take a few of these out just because I don't want this to get too crunched up from extra pins. But you do want to make sure that when you're putting this together, all these little edges are exactly on top of one another. I think I'm going to do one more. And maybe one more over here. So I have my needle threaded with 3 strands of floss, and I'm going to tie a knot on the end. Remember, wrap it around your finger twice and wiggle it off the end of your finger. Pull back on that and you've got your knot. We're going to hide that knot in between the 2 layers. So since I know I'm going to start right here, I'm going to go ahead and pull those 2 pins out, and I am going to go in between the layers about 1/8 of an inch in from the edge. And I'm going to tuck that knot down so nobody can see it. I'm going to go back through and come up really close to where that first stitch was. And remember, before I finish that stitch, I'm going to go through the loop so that I have that extra little piece that's going to float along the top. Now, we can't put these too far apart because otherwise the stuffing's going to come out. So I'm going to come over a little bit closer than I did when I was practicing and put my needle through from the back to the front, go through the loop, and pull it tight. And remember, I'm using my thumb as a reminder of how far apart these stitches are supposed to be. And make sure you're going through all of the layers when you do this. So up from the back, make sure you put the thread through, and you don't want to pull tight. You just want that to be kind of laying on the top. So up through the back, and really try to make sure that these are about the same distance apart, not too far, because we don't want our stuffing to leak out. Up through the back, through the loop, and pull it flat. I'm going to do a couple more, and then I'm going to send you on your way, and you will see me again when mine is all stitched up. Okay, so make sure you pin the edges even, that you are using 2 or 3 strands. I'm using 3, and do your stitches like you did before, but they should be just a little bit closer together than what we practiced the last time. Okay, I am going to continue around the perimeter of my elephant all the way around till I get back to the double pins. And my thread's going to run out before then. And when it runs out, I'm going to stop and make that knot like I showed you before. And then I'm going to start over with a new piece of thread and do that first stitch just like I did the last time. And then I will just keep going until I am all the way back to my double pins over here, leaving this spot open so I can put my stuffing right through here. Okay? See you next time. Bye-bye.